Hello, my name is T.R. Welling, and welcome to part 4 of a series of information and evidence regarding my discoveries, My Mind Does What It Does, and my discoveries regarding the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mathematically, Tulsa, Oklahoma is within a statistical margin of error of in approximately the same exact ratio from, if you draw a line from the middle of the Colosseum to the Roman umbilicus, which used to be called the Trader's Post, from there to the headwaters of the Arkansas River or the Vatican, the middle of of St. Peter's Basilica. If you draw that straight line from the Mississippi, where the Arkansas River dumps into the Mississippi, through Tulsa over to Colorado Springs, from the Colosseum through Trader's Post, the Roman umbilicus to the Vatican, that line, the Colosseum and the Mississippi, Trader's Post, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the headwaters of the Arkansas River and the Vatican line up within a statistical margin of error almost perfectly in a straight line. So it is very interesting to observe that Tulsa was almost an intentional city built there in order to be able to represent a couple of ideas regarding lost information that the Vatican so does not want publicized, dealt with, or common knowledge in any way, shape, or form. But the mathematics speak for themselves. The mathematics, of course, are that the Trader's Post is the place where all, and by the way, I do mean all, and I mean all, of the traders to the Roman Empire were taken and put on trial. Now that was the trials post. Now, this tradition started on the first minutes of Rome, when in the first minutes of Rome there was an argument between Romulus and his brother Remus, in which Romus's reaction was to perform the memento mori ceremony on his brother. So that would be 1A, and Remus was killed. That would be 1B. They were brothers, so there was an emotional interaction connection there, as well as Romulus went off and performed with a willing or not so willing, whatever his choice of situation was, and then it was being watched by most of the people of the city of his brand new newly named city of Rome, although the city used to be called Samhain, Samhain, which is Gaelic. Manx Gaelic specifically, that is the name for Halloween, which would be October 31st. That's a fixed point. That's one of the 8 fixed points in the Earth's atmosphere around the Earth's orbit around the sun, and the memento mori ceremony being watched by everyone around. That would be part 2 of the part 1A, part 1B, and then 2. That would be the parade, the happening in front of everyone and everyone's approval. Well, that creates a half of a circle, half of a C, from the 1B. The soul of 1A is sent to the afterlife through the 1B aspects, and in the 1B aspects, whatever that male, female, whatever interaction, that deep emotional and at times, most of the time, biochemical reaction, that interaction then sends the 1A victim to the afterlife instead of the 1A perpetrator. That sends it off to what can be defined as the quantum field, the astral plane, the Akashic records. There's 100 names to call it, but that's the ones. Those are the 3 that I've chosen to use. However, the part 3 is what the Romans call genius. Well, the part 3 is what we call a eureka moment, a spark of inspiration. that can be that whole situation can be defined as the understanding the concept of Janus. Janus being the two-headed god of Rome. That is the patron saint, the patron deity of Rome, patron schema of Rome, for lack of a better word. And when there's a talkback, there's an energy talkback from the part two, the astral field, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. When there's a talkback that completes the Ohm's law circle, there's a circle created in that, and then people are able to receive ideas and input. Okay, that is the momentum Marty ceremony minus a couple of odd packs. Now, that's what created Rome. Now, where Romulus most likely mathematically killed Remus is on Traitor's Post, and his body was dragged a few feet away, a little less than 24 feet away, to a hastily made mastaba that was made there, and his body was put in, and proper funerary rites and such were created. And the mastaba had remained there virtually untouched for the next just shy of 3,000 years, about 2,700 years or so, until it was found a little while ago, just inches or give or take from the steps of Rome, from the steps of the Curia Julia, which is the Senate would stand in front of the Curia Julia to be the judges and the executioners for the person standing on Traitor's Post, which was directly in front of them, and a 90-degree bend from the Temple of Concord, which is a little over a dozen feet to the west from Traitor's Post. Mathematically, that location would be within a give or take ratio. That would be Tulsa, Oklahoma. So now we come to the important part. Now we come to the reason why I'm making this video and why Tulsa becomes ratio-wise so unbelievably, extremely, intensely important. The same ratio location that Remus was killed, 1B, in order to be able to have Romulus become the king of the city, become the emperor of the city, and rule and create the Roman Empire, which would basically create Western culture, is because all traders, by the way, did I mention all traders? All traders, by the way, did I mention all? I want to get the point across real clear. All traders were brought to that point, to Traitor's Post, and put on trial for being enemies of the state on that trial. Would the biggest, baddest, boldest, nastiest traitor to the Roman Empire be the king of the Jews? Because in Rome there was about 1-2 million citizens, but there was about 5 to 6 million Jews, because there were Jews outnumbered, the Jewish slaves outnumbered the Roman citizens by 5 to 6 to 1. So the city had a population of about 10 million, and more than half of them were Jews. And overwhelming majority of those Jews were slaves. So the king of the Jews being executed in Rome proper is here is your king. Here, you 6-7 million Jews and slaves and such. Here is your king. Here is your man. Here's your guy. Here's your leader. And we're going to kill him. We're going to try him here. We're going to do a huge, nasty, disgusting thing. Have him carry his tool of execution north and west around the Capitoline Hill, across the Field of Mars, over the bridge, up where the Vatican Hill used to be, up there, and then there's a mound here, and then a divot, and then a mound on the other side. Well, this is where the Temple of Janus used to be, and this is where the Jews were executed in some ghastly and inappropriate way. That's where Jesus was not the first Jew that was executed here. But he would be pretty close to the last one executed there, because very soon after Jesus did his thing, he was the Romans in the Senate were so afraid of what he did that they didn't want the location to turn into a pilgrimage site. So their main number one heavy-duty major ceremony location, which would be the Rock of Mars, It was erased from all paperwork. It was quarried, and the rocks used to make a retention wall around where the Rock of Mars used to be, using the Rock of Mars itself to create the wall. And now here's some backup evidence. You've got 20 or 30 senators who are unbelievably rich, who have spent generations rich, and they have dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of slaves apiece, and they're rich, and they have their whatever. Can you imagine them allowing... Now, mass murder to the Roman Empire was nothing. That was a weekend activity. That was, the Colosseum was purpose built to mass murder people on a regular basis, 1, 2, 3, 4 times a week, regular basis, all year round. So mass murder and death and killing and serial killers and such that was what the Roman Empire survived on. The performing 1A on an almost constant basis was the thing to do. So as you do your thing, as the Romans did their thing, doing constant 1A, 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 there would be nothing for the senators to spend money to have that traitor, the king of the Jews, arrested, brought to Rome, tried on traitor's post, and then executed, so that they can see him. They can see his last breath, so they can see the blood do its thing and enjoy all that torture. Well, this is SOP for a Roman. This is what the senators did. This is a Saturday afternoon fun to go watch someone's last breath. Well, if it's a traitor to the empire, if they were that afraid of a Jewish revolt because they were outnumbered 5-1 in the city of Rome itself, well, killing him in front of 6 million of his followers, of his Jews, of his people, killing him in front of them would definitely be the definition of, we are the power, you're not. We just killed your leader, so therefore, since we just killed your leader, you will not get any ideas of not being slaves anymore. So this is in fact, that whole situation became a worldwide religion in the next about little less than a millennia. It became a worldwide religion because missionaries started being sent out all over the place to do their thing. Tulsa is mathematically in about 4 different types of mathematics. The equivalent point of where that happened in Rome, the umbilicus of Rome and Tulsa, Oklahoma, that would be mathematically wise the same exact place. So anyone who says that anyone who doesn't understand that the depth and heavy dutiness of the founding of the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, doesn't know this information. So it's a good thing for most people to know and learn. Thank you much for your time. Remember to subscribe to this video and to this post, and more to come. Thank you.